Hello, everybody. Welcome to KBIS Virtual, and more importantly, welcome to the NKBA Global Connect European Kitchen and Bath Showcase. That's a mouthful, I know. And this particular session, Best of Europe Favorite Finds. I'm your moderator, Veronica Miller, CEO of Medenas Media and the lead consultant at NKBA Global Connect. This showcase is produced by the National Kitchen and Bath Association to bring information about European trends and new product launches to North American audience who, in the last 12 months, have not been able to visit a lot of the European shows. The showcase will offer you presentations by select European brands in Global Design Bites, a deep dive into the stories behind the brands with CEO Talks hosted by NKBA CEO Bill Darcy, and the European Design Trends panel led by El Decor Executive Editor Ingrid Abramovich. Be sure to check those out during KBIS Virtual or come back anytime to view those programs on demand until March 31st. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Best of Europe Favorite Finds in our panel of leading European trend spotters and design influencers. From the UK, we have Stacey Shepherd, the design shepherd. From Germany, we have Yvonne Zahn, Küchenglück. And from Italy, we have Elisabetta Risato of Italian Bark. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
And I'd like to start right out with you, Stacey, if you want to take a minute to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Stacey Shepherd. I am a freelance design writer and also an award-winning interior design blogger. I started my career back in the early 2000s when I was staff writer at a kitchen and bathroom trade publication. And I was unfortunately made redundant in the financial crisis of 2008, which led me to set up my own design blog, which I've been writing ever since. And it is now one of the top ranked interior design blogs in the UK.
Love that. I'm so proud of you even saying that. I didn't know about the redundancy, but I think that's amazing because you have created such a great space for yourself and your blog in the industry. So kudos to you. And over to Yvonne in Germany.
Hello guys, I'm Yvonne, kitchen designer and blogger from Germany. I live with my family in Weinheim near Heidelberg in the southwest of Germany. In addition to my main job of running a kitchen studio, I have my own blog, Evie's Küchenglück, for you in Evie's Kitchen Happiness, and the YouTube account.
Perfect. And we'll see where people can contact you later on, because it's a really great YouTube account. And then finally, over to Italy and Elisabetta.
So, hello everybody. I'm Elisabetta Rizzato and I'm an interior architect based in Italy. And I'm also the creator of Italian Bark, which is a website I founded back in 2013 as my personal blog. And during the years, it became a complete online resource for professionals and design lovers looking for the latest trends and news in our industry. And 2 years ago, I also extended the blog in a digital platform where we share resources like webinars, podcasts, and other resources about the latest trends in our industry. And beside this, I also work as content creator for design brands. And I used in the last year to travel a lot across Europe to the main design events and fairs. But of course, last year I did this digitally. So here we are.
Here we are indeed. And you know what? There's something great about this because we can bring so much content to our audiences in a very short period of time. So there's always a silver lining to everything. And I think this is one of the really great silver linings. So we're really excited to have you guys. And I know Elisabetta at the end of her presentation even has a little special offer for KBIS attendees. So stay tuned for that. But now all three of you have, I know, created beautiful presentations of your favorite finds. We won't keep you guys waiting any longer. Stacey, let's get you to start out.
Yeah. Okay, so this was quite a difficult task actually to just narrow it down to a handful of products that I'd spotted this year. So we'll take a look at what I've found and hopefully you'll enjoy some of my picks from across Europe. So I've decided to focus in on kitchens, appliances, bathrooms, tiles, some light switches, and also some hardware. So you can see a little snippet there of what's to come. So starting off, one of my favourite kitchen finds is this one from a UK-based luxury bespoke kitchen designer, which has been founded by two brothers. They started in 2019 and they have a background in furniture making. So this particular kitchen is, I think it's even won awards in the UK. It's certainly been nominated for awards. And what really stood out to me is that the client brief was to make it look less like kitchen cabinetry and more like furniture in the space. So it's taken a lot of inspiration from Japanese design. And this one is actually called the Furniture Maker's Kitchen. So here you can see some of the close-up details. And what really struck me was this truss shelf here that spans across the whole open side of the kitchen. And it's got some really interesting additions to the kitchen, like, for example, the Japanese paper lanterns that you can see here in the shelving unit. And those light up at night and create some beautiful shadows, some beautiful patterns that play around the rest of the room. So that was definitely one of my favorite finds kitchen wise. And I think it really speaks to the renewed interest and the renewed love of craftsmanship that we're seeing at the moment. I think this is going to be one of the big trends that are going to come through, is that kind of bespoke, unique, handcrafted feel for a kitchen, and people wanting to know the exact provenance of their kitchen spaces.
It's stunning, and you have two things going on here. One, there's sort of this trend going to a mix of Japanese and Scandinavian right now, which I think this really reflects beautifully. But also, we have a big conversation right now in the States about, is the open plan kitchen a thing of the past, kind of COVID inspired? Do we want that to be separate? I think this is sort of the counter argument to that actually it should be open, but it does look more like furniture and less like kitchens. I think that's
definitely, it helps to delineate the space a little bit, but it still leaves that sense of flow through the space.
Yep.
And the next kitchen that I've chosen also speaks to the craftsmanship side. So this is a British company called Ledbury Studio, that's founded by Charlie Smallbone, who's very well known in the industry in the UK, and was actually one of the first people to introduce hand-painted kitchens. But he's set up a new studio now called Ledbury Studio. And for him, it's all about the materials. So he's really experimenting with beautiful natural materials like wood, metal, stone. You can see the beautiful marble sink that's here. And again, it's really sumptuous, elegant, and textural designs. And one of the things I've noticed coming through across the whole industry is definitely texture. And I think this is going to be a massive trend, and it's coming from a number of directions. So one is the craftsmanship, but also this, I don't want to call it a trend because I think it's much more than a trend, and I don't think it's going to disappear within time, but biophilic design. So that idea of bringing nature into our homes. So we're seeing the natural materials, the texture, the natural light, the fresh air, the sounds of nature, the sense of nature. And this is all really, really good for our mental health and our well-being. And this actually started a while back as a reaction to digitalization, I think, our need to reconnect with nature. And the pandemic at the moment has just accelerated this trend massively, due to the fact that we've all been stuck inside. And for many people, especially living in cities, we've not been able to get out of our homes and get that connection with nature. So the texture side of it, I think, is going to come into our homes in a really big way. And we're going to see that more and more in bathrooms and in kitchens. So what I really like about this kitchen, which is part of the metallic range, is all the texture that you can see in this, like the copper cabinet fronts and the wood grain that you can see on the cabinet fronts there. And I think copper is going to become big in kitchens anyway due to its antimicrobial properties. But I know there's a lot of talk about whether or not we're going to see antimicrobial, sanitized, like really clean kitchens. But I actually don't think we're going to go that way. I don't think we're going to see glossy. I don't think we're going to go for the kind of medical looking surfaces. I really think we're going to have a complete reaction to that, because when we go outside of our homes, we're not able to touch things and interact with things and have those haptic experiences like we used to have before the pandemic. So when people come home, I think they're going to want more things to touch, more interest, more haptic experiences that make them feel that sense of normality that we're lacking at the moment. So the last kitchen that I've chosen is from Superfront, which, for those of you who don't know, it's a Swedish company who design fronts, tops, legs, and handles that can be used with IKEA's existing cabinet ranges. So it was founded by a couple who wanted that luxurious look for their own home, but didn't want to necessarily pay those elevated prices that you would expect for high design. So they came up with the idea to create their own fronts that can be used with IKEA's range. This is their latest range, which launched towards the end of January. And it's called the Wood Collection. So again, you can see here the texture that's been added into this range. And I think we're going to see a lot of fluted surfaces, a lot of ribbed surfaces. We're already seeing it in the glass in the kitchen with the windows that you can, the cabinet fronts. But I think we're going to see that on a lot more things, even the ceramics, probably not the work surfaces, but everything else. We're going to see a lot more texture. So this was sort of more of the budget option, but that still brings all of those trends together in that one range.
And it's a great budget option. I absolutely love that the handles are the same material. I think that is just very soothing. It's great.
And I think it's available in 6 different color options as well. So if the dark wood isn't up your street, they do it in a lot of lighter woods as well. So, but yeah, definitely texture for kitchens. I'm gonna call that trend.
Yep.
As far as appliances go, I've picked out Bora, which is a German company, and this is one of their downdraft extractor systems. So this one's multi-award winning. Actually, I think it's won 4 awards now. And I've loved these downdraft extractors ever since they first came out, just due to the space saving element of it. And this one's particularly easy to use with the simple slide interface. And you can also clean it and change all the filters through the air inlet.
Actually, the Global Connect team visited Bora at their factory in southern Germany when we could still travel. In fact, just the November before we were not able to travel anymore, and we had to cook on the cooktops, and they really work phenomenally well. They're not quite in the States yet. I do know that. But working on it, because this is the kind of stuff that we really need in the US.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to have a look at one made by Elica. Actually, I went to a local company that stocks them, and to be honest, I was a little bit skeptical as to how well that would actually pull the vapor and the odors down. But they seem to be really, really efficient and work really, really well. So that experience won me over. So moving on to bathrooms, this is probably one of my favorite finds ever, actually. I was really excited when I came across this company. So Woodeo is a Finnish eco-design and material technology company, and they make this stunning bathroom sanitary ware, but it's made from wood, composite, and resin. So it's still it's very durable, but it's waterproof, and it's lighter weight than typical ceramics. And it's also the eco credentials are that I think it's 80% less carbon footprint compared to ceramics. So they have 2 ranges. One is their core range, which is this one you can see here. So it comes in a variety of colors. And they've recently launched a natural elements range, which comes in more natural colors. So they have like a forest green and a nice burgundy color. And they've also got an eco range where they have actually teamed up with a local mill, and they use the waste product from the mill to create their products.
Beautiful.
So that's another trend that I'm definitely seeing coming through right now, which is the circular economy. So people being a lot more conscious of their consumption and how the products are made, what they're made from, and what happens to them at the end of their life cycle, and reusing our waste to create new products. So this one really excited me when I first came across this company.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
And along the same lines, this is a tile range made in the UK by Alucid, and they specialize again in sustainable surfaces. And this tile range is called Sequel because it's the second story of the raw materials have then gone on to be used in another product. So it's 98% recycled content, and it comes from broken glass collected at curbside, sanitary ware, and glaze waste from ceramic manufacture. So again, this is really a really circular product. There's practically no waste afterwards either, so that can be completely reused. Everything that is created as waste during the manufacturing process of these tiles then goes back into the process. So it's a fully circular process. Light switches, again, this goes back to biophilic design that I was talking about earlier. So bringing nature into the home. Light switches aren't really something that I would have really given that much thought to before, but there seems to be some really interesting developments at the moment, trying to make them into more of a feature in our homes. So this is by a company called Focus SB that specialize in designer electrical wiring accessories. And they're quite a high-end product, both in the UK and internationally. But this is their nature-inspired collection, which has 6 finishes, and they all mimic natural textures and patterns. And they've worked together with a metal coatings company to create these finishes. And it's a response to the growing demand for unique aesthetics at home and to biophilic design. And the same company have also created this jewelry inspired collection of light switches. So this was together with a famous British designer called Kelly Hoppen, who's well known for her very minimalist, very neutral interior schemes. And she wanted again to make something more of the humble light switch. So she's taken inspiration from fashion by using pinstripes, and just given those little extra details that you maybe wouldn't expect to see on your light switches, just to really turn it into, as she calls, wall jewelry. And then finally is this exciting range of hardware. Buster and Punch is a really cool British company. I really like them. They're so edgy. They take a lot of inspiration from the fashion world. So they say that they're blurring the boundaries between home and fashion, but they do lighting, furniture, electrical accessories, and hardware, as well as full spaces. They have got some fantastic kitchens on their website. So if you do have time, hop on over to their website and have a look, because they make my heart skip a beat every time I look at them. But this range is
they're taking Americans by storm, but I have not seen this yet. This is very cool.
Yeah, this is so cool. So this is their linear range, which is cabinet handles inspired by fashion accessory hardware. So they take diamond milled solid metals, and then it features a signature linear nail pattern and machine torque screws. So there's a lot of different options available, but this particular one is I think it's called burnt steel, the finish. But they do it in all kinds of different metals and different finishes. There's a black range as well. So if you're not quite that out there and you don't want to go quite so crazy with the finish, you can choose something a little bit more understated. But I just love the way that it's just such an exciting brand. They're really pushing the boundaries of creativity.
Indeed.
And if you want to see more of the trends that are coming from the UK or other European countries, you can always follow me on any of my social platforms.
Do follow her. Absolutely worth it. Thank you very much, Stacey. And as soon as you stop sharing, we're going to go right over to Yvonne and let her share for us to see what's happening in Germany.
Perfect. So luckily, we finally had the kitchen fair in Germany in September last year. At this fair, we visit all our manufacturers in their own factories and see the new products of the 2021 collection, which I will tell you to see you this day. So.
And it's interesting. So the German Kitchen Fair was actually live last year as well in the fall, right?
So we only have one fair last year, and this was in September. So it was very good for us to see something new on live.
Perfect. Glad you did that.
Yes. So a big theme in this current pandemic is the setting of a stylish home office workstations, and that was also a big furnishing trend and at this trade fair. I brought you 3 photos here, how you can plan this from kitchen furniture, really nice. Here's someone in a wood front, or you can see so many steels and industrial style also in the plans of home office. So the color trends in the fronts and worktops for the 2021 collection definitely remain on matte. Easy care fronts, in addition to the anti-fingerprint feature, we see the improvement of antibacterial fronts has also been included in the portfolio of some manufacturers this year. The design and the color design is often chosen as a monolith, like you can see in the front island of the piece of furniture. No longer contrast between the front and the countertop color, but here a uniform color scheme, and the second color is then used, for example, in the tall cabinet area. And you can see here this photo is where the sink is, second color.
And I think this is really an important point that you're making here, and that is sort of streamlining the body of the cabinet and the countertop. Is it the same material, or is it one that mimics the same finish?
Sometimes in this picture you see the same material in the back side. Sometimes you choose the same color, only the same color, and another material. It depends on the price from the kitchen.
Smart. Good answer.
Yes, and and in Germany we have the first witnessing on attack on the oak in the wood front area. The new trend in Germany is Nussbaum, as you can see in the photo in the island area. We have the first attack to oak. So, furthermore, manufacturers have been made the kitchen cabinets pretty from the inside. Many beautiful, especially dark bodies, interior systems were presented, like you can see on this photo and on the second one with dark glass on the sides.
That's beautiful.
So we have seen a special solution such as the garage for the vacuum cleaner robots were also totally on trend this year. So you have an energy station behind the cabinet, and it's very, very good solution for the kitchen.
I have to ask you guys, all of you, in Europe, do you do a lot of robot vacuums?
In Germany, many.
Yeah.
This was one of the most common Christmas presents, Christmas gifts.
Really? Really? I think I need one. Or 5. Cool.
So my next thing is that there's a second picture for this. You can see many of them, like in your home, Veronica.
Yeah, there they all go. So does that little door, does that cabinet, do you know, does it open, or is it always open so they can drive in there and charge?
So this solution from this manufacturer is the open one. So it depends on the manufacturer you like.
And what's very nice, I'll give a shout out to Ballerina Kitchen, who is also presenting in Design Bites during the KNB showcase. They're a new member of NKBA Global Connect, so I'm very happy to see them on here. I didn't notice that. Cool. Thank you.
That's very fine. So the next thing is that the sink is no longer a washing up place from the dishes, as everything is packed into the dishwasher in Germany anyway now, but as a real active or cooking preparation center. There are so many, and you can see it in the picture, there are so many accessories that really change the focus of the work in the sink. So we have really a new situation about the work in the sinks now in Germany.
Would you consider doing in Europe doing 2 units to where you have a cleanup area and a kitchen prep area, or is that more of an American way of thinking?
I think it's more American way. We have only one sink actually in the most of the kitchens. What about other countries?
But
We have
now the trend is towards 1
to 1.
Same here.
Yeah, we have lots.
Your homes are bigger.
This is true.
And this is my favorite highlight of this year fair was really the beautiful serving trolleys from manufacturers. So the trolleys that help you in the place of the kitchen where you need them, whether as a storage option, buffet extension, or digestive bar. There are really no limits for your fantasy here. That's a beautiful one. I think it's my favorite, really favorite. And there's also another one, and it's really, really good thing, I think. So thank you very much for being able to present the German Trade Fair highlights virtually here at this wonderful trade fair. I would be very happy if you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube.
Very,
Thank
very
you.
cool. Yvonne, on Instagram and YouTube, are you also under Küchenglück?
Yes, it's Ivis Küchenglück, yes.
Evie's Küchenglück. Okay, so yes, perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
So,
now we get to go to La Bella Italia, right?
one moment.
One moment. Soon. Because we're all ready to go to Italia. Let me just tell you, Elisabetta, for sure.
So here my selection of products from Italy. I focused more on product design. I did a selection of around 10 products for the bathroom and the kitchen, and some wall coverings and a lighting design. So I start with this. That is a new sink made by the Italian brand Antonio Lupi, and which is called Borghi. And this sink is really unique because it is made out of two very different materials, which are cork and resin. This special resin is called crystal nut and is a material that was invented by this brand, and is a very resistant resin that is also transparent and colored. And in fact, this sink is available in 3 colors that are inspired by the Tuscan nature and Tuscan landscapes, so by green, blue, and ochre yellow. And another thing that I selected for the bathroom is a totally different sink, but is also another creative design that came out last year by this studio, Marcante Testa, that is a well-known Italian design studio, and for the brand called XT. And this is really, I really like this design because it's really different, I think, for what we are seeing. And it is inspired by geometrical shapes, by colors, and by patterns, because it is available in different patterns. You can see the checkered, you see checkered, and striped one. And the trend, we call this kind of style modernico here in Italy. That is a new style that like a match of different periods, like the 20s, the 50s, and the Memphis style, with a minimalistic approach that is very coming popular now in Italy. And then, always for the bathroom, I selected this that is actually not a product, but a color palette that is made by Ceramica Cielo, and it's called Acque di Cielo. And this new palette is really glossy and always inspired by nature. So again, this is another example of this trend that is really strong now in Italy, and probably also in other countries, I think. That is the natural inspiration. And also the micro trend here is towards the colorful bathroom fittings, like sinks and things like that. And I really like this kind of palette. I think is very, very representative of our trends now.
So I assume if you see these products installed, would the countertop that they're mounted on be more neutral, recede back to kind of offset that sink, or
Yeah.
would the countertop also be color?
No, it would be like a background, because this is the focus of
Okay.
I think so, but maybe you can also match it in another way. I think it's a matter of the style you want to get for the bathroom. And then after this, so for the bathroom, I selected these products, and then we go to the kitchen. And here, I selected this creative kitchen that is a very, very compact kitchen system made up by this brand called Fabita. Sorry, moved. And it is like less than half a square meter, and there is a kitchen hob and an induction, how do you call it? Hob, sorry. And
cooktop.
and it can also be moved everywhere because it has a wireless charging integrated inside. So it can be moved like everywhere. And I think this is a really nice example for reply for a demand that we have a lot for micro kitchens, for micro spaces, and also this can be placed, for example, also in workspaces or in other kind of spaces, so just not in the home, but I imagine this like everywhere.
What about the circle? What is that? Do you know?
Is the kitchen, how do you call it?
The vent?
The hood, or?
Yeah, the hob. Hob.
The hob.
Yeah.
So it is a ventilation. Okay.
And I think it's very creative also for the design, because it's minimalistic but also very playful, and I think we all need some playful design now, especially in this moment. And so the next one is totally different, and I selected this kitchen to show you another big trend that we are having here, that is about the outdoor kitchens. Because as someone mentioned before, of course we were forced to spend time indoor, but the people who have the garden also enjoyed much more the time outside, and we all started to appreciate much more the time spent outside. And luckily we are now starting to have fully equipped kitchens also for the garden. This is, for example, from a brand called Fantine, and I selected this because it is made in steel and it has a really clean and minimalistic design, and I like it for its clean design and for its material that is really durable and sustainable also. And always talking about steel, that is another material that really has been rediscovered a lot here. This is, for example, a very small brand, and it's called Very Simple Kitchen. And as the name says, it is inspired by the concept of creating the smallest and the simplest kitchen that you can have, and inspired by minimalism and by the Italian industrial heritage. And so creating this very simple design is a way of creating also something very sustainable and to embrace our no waste philosophy in design. And after this, I switch to another brand that instead is a big brand you probably know, that is Scavolini. But I selected this product that is called Box Life, that is not a kitchen design, but is a modular system. So it's a solution that you can use to keep everything hidden, so you can like use this for kitchen to hide everything, or also in other environments of the home, because it made of retractable doors that you can close and open. So, and then after this, I selected this one just to show you an example of the main trend that you were mentioning also about, don't remember, about the air sanitation. And this is like a cooker hood that is called, sorry, just go back. That is called, I don't know how you say, ion system. So ion system, suppose, yeah. And it has a system which releases like ions, something similar to ions in the air, which can clean the air. And also, they says that this releasing of ions in the air have a positive effect on the mind and the body. And this was to introduce you like another trend that I'm seeing a lot here, but also not here, I think, like everywhere, that is about the well-being. So the research for well-being, and that is now one of the main scope of the design, I think. And after this, always talking about biophilic design, well-being, green design. This is another product that I really like. That is by Italian Casa Grande Padana. Probably you know it. I don't know. And it's like a very large format tile. It is, as you can see, is inspired by climbing plants. So it has a super realistic effect, and it's really, really decorative. So you can like create a vertical green door that is not green, but is like it looks like. But it's really nice. I've seen this in a fair, and it's really beautiful by seen by person. And also, this product has a technology called the BIOS.
BIOS, yeah.
Self-cleaning, that is a technology that can reduce the pollution in the air during the sunlight hours, because now I cannot explain in English, but it has something inside that reacts with the sun and somehow like clean the surface and the air side. I can't explain it really well in English, but it is working.
And we will follow up with you on this, because now we have questions. But so is the panel itself cleaning itself, or does it clean the air? Do you know?
Yeah, it's auto clean the surface, and also they says that it cleans the air outside, because this surface can also be, this covering can also be used outside in the facades. So if you use this in big surfaces, this says that it can also clean the air with this reaction of, I don't know, I should have to read this.
That's okay. But I think this is stuff like this is so important for people to think about, and for designers to think about far beyond their normal scope of work. So thank you for sharing that. That's great.
It's beautiful, but also it has something, useful for the environment. And here is another wall covering that I selected that is called Luci di Venezia by a brand called Decoratori Bassanesi. And it's a series of tiles. Here you can see the tiles, but there are also wallpapers and mirrors to decorate the home. And it has a really special surface because it has an iridescent,
Iridescent, yeah.
Iridescent effect combined to a 3D decoration. So when you move the surface, it really changes a lot. Here from the image, of course, you don't have the perception of this, but see, on real, this is Yeah, this is true, and it's I like it because it's inspired by the Venice colors and landscape. So I really like this collection, and it's also another example of the tactile trend that you were mentioning also at the beginning. And the last thing that I selected is not from a brand, because I also like to select independent designers and yes, works from young designers. And this is a studio called Muica Studio, and these lamps are called lab lamps, and these are sustainable lamps made out of an handmade material created out of fallen leaves together with resins. So they create this material and then create these beautiful lamps. And this is one example of the already mentioned trend of circular design that hopefully is coming out a lot. And here in Italy, we are having a big research towards this kind of topic. So, yeah. So this is just one example, but there are many other, I think, but we should need another presentation only for this. Yeah.
We do. Wonderful.
It's really big. And yeah, so if you want to know something else from Italy, from trends and our news and innovations, we also run a trend membership program where we deliver like every week independent, not sponsored content to like for design professionals, and like webinars, reports, blog posts, and other things. And you can find all the informations in this link. And we also created a discount code, so you can like join us if you want with the 20% discount, if you want, or if you don't.
I think that's great. And I noticed Yvonne was just taking a picture. So I think it's really important. So to have this kind of information. So thank you very much, Elisabetta, for sharing all of that. And all three of you guys, I think it's so interesting when you look at this 1 year pause. There's always good and bad that happened in the last 12 months or so, and it just seems like creativity has, if anything, kicked into overdrive and has allowed designers to say, you know what, we don't have trade shows to worry about. There's a lot of things we're not doing right now, but let's ideate and produce really great new ideas. And it's interesting to see how, I look at this from the US, and there's definitely some really great ideas that may not have quite made it here yet. But I think the exchange kind of goes back and forth much more than it used to. And we always look to you guys for creativity. We are out of time, fortunately, but that's perfect. I really, really appreciate the time you guys spent with us today. Again, for our audiences watching right now, look up Evie's Küchenglück. You can call me at Modenas if you need spelling of that. And then the Design Shepherd and Italian Bark for more on trends from Germany and the UK and Italy. And hopefully we'll connect with you guys again in the very near future. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.